Hello, everyone. My name is Ellen Lafargue, and I'm the director of the Shelley and Stephen Einhorn Audiology Center and the Barrelson Hearing and Technology Center at the Center for Hearing and Communication here in New York City. We are honored today to have John Eichwald, who is an audiologist with over 40 years of experience in the field of audiology. He is an audiologist at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's National Center for Environmental. He has published extensively and made numerous presentations on the early identification of hearing loss in newborns and, more recently, the prevention of non-occupational noise-induced hearing loss. His work also included collaboration with multiple organizations focused on national health IT efforts. And again, thank you so much for joining us today. Many of us think of noise as a workplace issue involving loud engines and landscaping equipment and that kind of thing. Can you define what non-occupational noise-induced hearing loss is?
Yeah, so basically what we talk about, NIOSH is the CDC center that works on occupational noise, and they've been in service for over 50 years. In 2016, the CDC formed an intra-agency group, or work group, within the National Center for Environmental Health, and we're specifically focused on non-occupational noise-induced hearing loss. That is, hearing loss that occurs due to loud sounds at home and in the community.
And can you just, for those who might not know, can you define what NIOSH is?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that's the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, NIOSH. Thank you.
Thanks. And how big of an issue is non-occupational noise exposure?
Okay. Let me put a little perspective in terms of occupational. So NIOSH reports that every year, nearly or about 22 million workers in this country are exposed to potentially damaging noise on their job. In 2017, we analyzed audiometric hearing test results from CDC's National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, and we found that 1 in 4 of those people tested had hearing damage that appeared to be noise-induced hearing loss, which would result to about 40 million adults in the US. And half of those that had the damage reported that they had no exposure to loud noise at work. So that would mean about 21 million adults may have some noise-induced hearing loss from sounds in their home or their community.
Do we have any guesses as to what some of those sounds might be, what some of the sources might be?
You can sort of imagine, you can think about the things that we normally do. Certainly gardening, when we use gas-powered lawnmowers and leaf blowers. If we attend recreational events, those tend to be very loud, then those would be both sporting events and entertainment venues. Going out to restaurants can be very loud. So we're exposed to a varied amount of loud noises on a daily basis.
And hopefully we'll all be exposed to more noise from restaurants and so on soon than we have been. But it brings up a point, is if we're going to go back to concerts and restaurants and all the things that we hope to be doing, what can we do about it? You know, is it just inevitable, or is there something that the average person can do to protect themselves?
Well, the risk from loud noise exposure depends on how loud the sound is and how long you're exposed to it. The ways to protect yourself from the risk from noise-induced hearing loss are relatively simple, and that is turn the level down if you're using a personal listening device or your stereo at home or in the car. So turn the level down, move away, walk away from the sound source. And if you can't do either of those, and if you're in a loud environment, use hearing protection, and that would be through earplugs, earmuffs, or noise canceling headsets.
And is one particularly better than the other in terms of noise canceling or regular headphones, or?
Each of them has advantages and disadvantages. They're all relatively easy to use. Noise canceling, the cheapest of them would be the earplugs. Earmuffs would cost a little more, and then the noise canceling would be a little more expensive. An advantage of the noise canceling headsets would be that when you're in a loud environment, oftentimes you want to listen to your own personal music. And so therefore that would reduce the background noise. If you're just using your regular listening device, you might be, say, on a subway train or in another loud environment, mowing the lawn, oftentimes you may turn up the volume on your personal listening device. And so you're actually creating more sound at your ear than you would if you used a noise canceling headset.
Yeah, I know here at CHC, we have a lot of people who come in for custom plugs and custom earphones, custom attachments for their AirPods or whatever headphones that they're using. And we feel that provides some buffering from the outside and allowing less amplification to be used to get to the same level. People find that to be, pretty helpful, actually. Do you find in your work that there's people are being exposed to noise at a younger age than they had been in the past?
Well, we recently did a survey of noise in school systems, or in school settings. We did a student survey, and that was of students about ages 12 to 17. And we found that 3 in 4 of those students reported that they were exposed to sounds on a regular basis more than 15 minutes a day. And half of those reported that they were routinely being exposed to that kind of sound level. 86% said that they never wore hearing protection in those environments. And disturbingly, only 1/3 of those students had been taught how to prevent or reduce the risk from noise-induced hearing loss.
Those are startling statistics to me, that 3 in 4 have been exposed. So if you're a parent of a school-age child, whether it's a city kid or a suburban or even a rural kid, is there anything you as a parent can do to help with noise abatement in any way?
Well, certainly there are plenty of materials available on our CDC website. We have a lot of information that parents can use. We have downloadable materials. Recently, we published a steampunk-themed comic book, and that's a 10-page comic book that talks about hearing loss. It's downloadable on our website. Let's see, I'm probably, but you can download that. It's both available in English and Spanish. It talks about how to prevent hearing loss, what causes it. Talks a little bit about tinnitus. We also have a teacher's guide there that was developed by Scholastic Magazine. It was actually distributed last year with their Super Science magazine. That's again downloadable, freely downloadable on our CDC website.
And can you just give us what the URL is for that?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's www.cdc.gov/NCEH/hearing_loss.
And I'm sure that information will be available on CHC's website as well, so that people can have a link to that in case they can't find that, because that's a lot of letters and slashes.
Another possible way is if you just go out to CDC and put in hearing, it will take you to a web portal that will actually give you a link to NIOSH. It'll give you a link to the National Center for Environmental Health, and also to our National Center for Birth Defects and Developmental Disabilities for newborn hearing screening. So,
excellent. That's great. Thank you so much. We get the question all the time. I'm standing next to somebody who is wearing headphones and I can hear their music. And, does that mean that they're, going to be deaf next week? Can you address that a little bit, the headphone issue and people and what they should do?
Well, again, it depends on how loud and how long you're listening to a sound level. And certainly if you have to raise your voice, you're probably using up what I refer to as your 24-hour daily sound allowance. So a good rule of thumb is that if you're in a noisy environment and you have to raise your voice to be heard by somebody about 3 feet away, chances are you're starting to use up your daily sound allowance. Every time you have to raise your voice even a little bit, you're lowering your safe listening time. And so certainly if you're hearing somebody's audio device, they're probably listening it too loud. They'll probably have to raise their voice. But in terms of that sound allowance, let me give you some practical examples. If you're using your average gas-powered lawnmower without any hearing protection, that would be about 85 to 90 decibels. You can reach your entire minimum daily allowance in as little as about 15 minutes. I talked about professional sporting events, and those can be in the range of about 95 to 100. And you can reach your limit in under 5 minutes, depending on how close you are to that sound level. If you're talking about a very loud music event, which now we're talking 105 to 120 decibels, your entire daily allowance can be quickly reached in under 30 seconds. And so that gives you maybe some ideas in terms of how loud is too loud.
And can we find out more about the sound allowance on the CDC website as well?
Yeah, we actually have a interesting quiz you can take out there. It's a short quiz. It's only 6 questions, and it talks about the various levels of, similar to what I said, and how long it would take to use up your daily allowance.
The whole idea of the sound allowance is really interesting. So suppose I was all by myself today and I was exposed to no noise, so I didn't use any of my allowance at all. Can I save that up and double my exposure tomorrow?
Probably not. It's a lifetime of exposure. And I mean, when we did our early study looking at noise-induced hearing loss, we found that almost 1 in 4 adults reported good or excellent hearing, and we had already found that they were showing some hearing damage, and that would suggest that the damage is hearing long before people even notice it. So it's that allowance, you don't build it up, that is just a build up over time.
Thank you. So, I think one of the biggest takeaways about hearing loss that's caused by noise is that it's completely preventable. And there are so many things in our lives that are not preventable and not controllable. And for me, that's always been the biggest takeaway that we have to think about. At the end of the day, this is something that we can avoid. So, I thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope that everyone has learned something here and will do some follow-up and make sure that we stay away from those hazardous noises. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. I very much appreciate it.